Good morning students. Welcome to science class. Students, let's start our bridge course session. Tell me, what is science? Science is the process of gaining knowledge and investigating by making observations, posing questions and testing through experimentation. As we all know, branches of science. Yes, science has three branches: physics, chemistry and biology. Science has three branches: physics, chemistry and biology. Today we are going to learn about changes around us, reproduction and modification in plants and cell biology. We will see one by one. Students, day will be changed into night. Day will be changed into night. Similarly, seed is changed to sapling over a period of time. Seed is changed to sapling over a period of time. Also, raw fruit will be changed to ripe fruit. Rocks will be changed to sand. Tell me, what is the common factor in the above examples? Yes, changes occur frequently. Changes occur frequently. Then, what is a change? Change is the observable difference between initial state and the final state of any substance. What is change? Change is the observable difference between initial state and the final state of any substance. For example, human growth from baby to adult is a change. Children, change is the law of nature because some changes occur periodically, instantly and takes some time. Seasonal changes and weather changes will occur periodically. Burning of paper happens immediately, whereas rusting of iron nail takes some time. Moreover, milk is turned into curd in few hours, but while cooking, vegetables take some time for softening. From above examples, we will say changes are not only a process, but it is accompanied by change in properties like shape, color, temperature, position and composition. Some changes are visible and some changes are not visible. For example, growing hair is a visible change. Once we are cutting the hair and it will grow again. But digestion is invisible. After intake of food, we are not able to see the process of digestion. Children, during changes, some objects' shape and size have changed. This can be called a physical change. For example, if you are cutting the apple into two halves, then the shape and size of the apple has changed. So this is physical change. After some time, color of the apple will be changed because some substances in apple react with air. So the color is changed. This is a chemical change. Now tell me, what is physical change? Physical changes are the temporary changes in which there is change in the physical appearance of the substance, but not in its composition. Here, no new substance is formed. Let's see the examples. Once we melt ice, it will convert it into liquid. If we are going to prepare sugar or salt solution, the character of salt or sugar not changed. Yes, solution becomes sweet or salty in taste. There is no new substance formed. If you are stretching the rubber band into any shape, it will be back to the initial shape. It will be back to the initial shape. So these are the examples of physical changes. Let's see the picture. This modeling clay can be molded and changed to make objects. Its shape can then change and back to its original block. This is an example of physical change. As we all know, what is matter? Everything around you is matter. Matter can be solid, liquid or gas. For example, toys are matter. Balloons are matter. Water is matter. Yes, toys is an example of solid. Balloons is an example of gas. Water is an example of liquid. So matter can be solid, liquid or gas. Some matter has parts that are too small to see. Let's see the effect of heat on solid, liquid and gases. On heating, solid changes into liquid, liquid changes into gas. On cooling, gas changes into liquid, liquid changes into solid. So, this brings about change in state. Students, on heating and cooling, expansion and contraction takes place in the matter. So, during expansion and contraction, volume changes. Object volume changes and mass is conserved. Children, now we are going to learn about changes of state. Melting, evaporation, condensation, freezing are the physical changes we are facing in our daily life. We will see one by one. Before that, tell me what is endothermic process and exothermic process? Let's see. A reaction that the system absorbs energy from its surrounding in the form of heat is called endothermic reaction. Once again I repeat, a reaction that the system absorbs energy from its surrounding in the form of heat. Melting, vaporization and sublimation are the examples of endothermic reaction. What is exothermic reaction? A reaction that releases energy from the system in the form of heat. Once again I repeat, a reaction that releases energy from the system in the form of heat. Freezing and condensation are the examples of exothermic reactions. First we will see melting. Melting is the changing of a solid into its liquid state and it happens by heating. So solid state changes into liquid by the application of heat is melting process. For example, melting of ice cream, chocolate and a candle is a physical change. Second one, vaporization. What is vaporization? Liquid changes into gaseous state is called vaporization. Vaporization is classified into two types, boiling and evaporation. Drying of cloths is an example of evaporation. Drying of cloths is an example of evaporation. Heating of water is an example of boiling. We will see one by one. What is boiling? Boiling is the process of conversion of a liquid into vapors on heating. Boiling is the process of conversion of a liquid into vapors on heating. In gaseous state, only the arrangement of molecules changes. There is no change in their chemical composition. So, boiling is a physical change. What is evaporation? Evaporation is a slow process and occurs only at the surface of the liquid. Evaporation is a slow process and occurs only at the surface of the liquid. Evaporation is the technique used to separate dissolved solids from a solid liquid mixture. Yes, this technique is used to extract salt from seawater. Like drying cloths, drying fish also done by evaporation process. What is freezing? When a substance changes from a liquid to solid is called freezing. When a substance changes from a liquid to solid is called freezing. Example, water turning into ice when placed in the freezer. Water turning into ice when placed in the freezer. In freezing, heat needs to be removed for this phase change. In freezing process, heat needs to be removed. For example, water changes into ice at 0 degrees Celsius. It is an example of freezing process. Next one, condensation. What is condensation? Condensation is the conversion of gas into its liquid state. Condensation is the conversion of gas into its liquid state. See the picture. Collected hot air on cooling converted into water droplets. Collected hot air on cooling converted into water droplets. It is an example of condensation process. Also, morning dew, fog, handprint in vehicle are the examples of condensation process. Students, water vapor condenses to form clouds. Water vapor condenses to form clouds. It is one of the important phase in water cycle. Next one, sublimation. Sublimation is the transition of a substance from the solid phase to the gas phase without passing through an intermediate liquid phase. That is, solid changes directly into gas. What is sublimation? Solid state converted into gaseous state. Once again I repeat, sublimation is the transition of a substance from the solid phase to the gas phase without passing through an intermediate liquid phase. Example, burning of camphor. Next one, crystallization. What is crystallization? The soluble impurities get removed from certain solids by crystallization. The soluble impurities get removed from certain solids by crystallization. The process of cooling a hot, concentrated solution of a substance to obtain crystals is called crystallization. The process of cooling a hot, concentrated solution of a substance to obtain crystals is called crystallization. For example, we will get sugar by the crystallization process. Now, we are going to learn about chemical changes. What is chemical change? Chemical changes are the permanent changes in which there is change in the chemical composition and a new substance is formed. Once again I repeat, chemical changes are the permanent changes in which there is change in the chemical composition and a new substance is formed. For example, burning of wood. After the burning, we'll get the new substance ash. Not able to get the initial substance wood. Next one, popping of popcorn. Third one, blackening of silver ornaments. Initially, silver white in color. After some time, it will react with moisture to form new substance. So, it is in black color. Also, rusting of iron. Initially, it is white in color. After some time, iron reacts with moisture to form iron oxide. It is a new substance. So, rusting is an example of chemical change. Also, extraction of metal from their ore, preparation of medicines are the examples of chemical changes. Students, materials such as plastics, soaps, detergents, perfumes, acids, bases, salts, etc. all are made by carrying out various types of chemical changes. Explosion of a firework is a chemical change. Explosion of a firework is a chemical change. When food gets spoiled, it produces a foul smell. When food gets spoiled, it produces a foul smell. It is a chemical change. Let's see one example. Cut a fresh slice of potato and brinjal and keep it away for some time. What will happen? Vegetables react with air and a new substance has formed. Also the color is changed. So it is also a chemical change. Photosynthesis is a chemical change. Photosynthesis is a chemical change. Rusting of iron. Yes, rusting of iron is an example of chemical change. Iron reacts with the oxygen to form iron oxide. Iron reacts with the air to form iron oxide is a new substance. It is a chemical change. The color of the iron also changed. Initially it is white in color. After it reacts with air to form brown in color. That is new substance iron oxide is formed. Do you know, children, there is an iron pillar at the Qutb complex in Delhi which is more than 1600 years age. Because iron pillar kept in open spaces has not rusted at all. Children, preventing rusting is to deposit a layer of a metal like chromium or zinc on iron. This is called galvanization. What is galvanization? Preventing rusting is to deposit a layer of a metal like chromium or zinc on iron. Let's see next example, burning. Burning a piece of paper gives entirely new substances such as carbon dioxide, water, water vapor, smoke and ash. So it is a permanent change, that is chemical change. So during burning we will get a new substances like carbon dioxide, water, water vapor, smoke and ash. Let's see the another example, fermentation. Fermentation is the process in which microorganisms such as yeast and certain bacteria break down sugar solution into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Once again I repeat, fermentation is the process in which microorganisms such as yeast and certain bacteria break down sugar solution into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Do you know, children, Louis Pasteur, a French chemist and microbiologist, was the first person to describe the process of fermentation. Louis Pasteur, a French chemist and microbiologist, was the first person to describe the process of fermentation. Now we are going to study about reproduction and modification in plants. Students, plants have two types of organs, vegetative organs and reproductive organs. Root, stem and leaves are vegetative organs. Flowers, fruits and seeds are reproductive organs. Then tell me, what is reproduction? The process by which plants and animals produce their young ones is known as reproduction. Once again I repeat, the process by which plants and animals produce their young ones is known as reproduction. There are two types of reproduction in plants, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. First, sexual reproduction. The seed is produced from a flower by the process of pollination and fertilization is known as sexual reproduction. Once again I repeat, the seed is produced from a flower by the process of pollination and fertilization is known as sexual reproduction. What is asexual reproduction? The production of new plants without the involvement of pollination and fertilization is known as asexual reproduction. Once again I repeat, the production of new plants without the involvement of pollination and fertilization is known as asexual reproduction. Example, bryopylum growing by leaf. Now we are going to study about parts of a flower. Flower has two main parts, male reproductive part and female reproductive part. Male reproductive part is stamen, otherwise called androecium. Female reproductive part, that is carpel or pistil, is otherwise called gynoecium. Students, listen here. The outermost whorl of a flower is calyx. Leaf-like structure is called sepals. Corolla is second whorl of flower. Each segment of corolla is called petals. Next, stamen. Stamen has two parts, anther and filament. Anther has pollen grains which transfer to female of the flower, pistil. Next, carpel. Carpel has three parts. They are stigma, style and ovary. Stigma is the landing place for the pollen grains and germinate. Stigma connects with ovary by style and pollen tube. Ovary is a swollen base of the pistil which contains ovule. Ovule are the female gametes that get fertilized and form the embryo. Now we will learn about types of flowers. First one, bisexual flowers. If all the four whorls are present, then it is called complete flowers. All the four whorls, they are calyx, corolla, stamen and pistil. If all the four whorls are present, then it is called complete flowers. Complete flowers are bisexual flowers. Example, lily, rose, sunflower, hibiscus, etc. The next, unisexual flowers. If any of these four is missing, then it is called an incomplete flower. Incomplete flowers are unisexual flowers. Example, papaya, watermelon, bitter gourd and pine, etc. Next, male flowers. The one with androecium and without gynoecium is known as male flowers. The one with androecium and without gynoecium is known as male flowers. Next, female flowers. The one with gynoecium and without androecium is known as female flower. The one with gynoecium and without androecium is known as female flower. What is pollination? The process by which the pollen grains reach stigma is called pollination. Once again I repeat, the process by which the pollen grains reach stigma is called pollination. The flower that receives pollen grains called pollinated flower, while the one that doesn't receive pollen grains called unpollinated flower. Once again I repeat, the flower that receives pollen grains called pollinated flower, while the one that doesn't receive pollen grains called unpollinated flower. Now we will learn about types of pollination. First, artificial pollination. If human being transfer the pollen grains from male flower to the female flower is known as artificial pollination. Once again I repeat, if human being transfer the pollen grains from male flower to the female flower is known as artificial pollination. Next one, natural pollination. If the pollen grains transferred from male flower to the female flower by natural is known as natural pollination. Once again I repeat, if the pollen grains transferred from male flower to the female flower by naturally, that is insects, birds, wind, water, soil, is known as natural pollination. What is cross-pollination? Pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of another flower of the same kind or different plant is called cross-pollination. Once again I repeat, pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of another flower of the same kind or different plant is called cross-pollination. What is self-pollination? Pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of same flower or to another flower of the same plant is called self-pollination. Now tell me, what is pollinator? The pollinators are the agents that are helped in pollination. The pollinators are the agents that are helped in pollination. Beans, tomatoes are commonly self-pollinate. Like paddy is mostly self-pollinating using just gentle wind as the pollinating agent. Then tell me, what is fertilization? During the germination, a tube develops from the pollen grain that carries male gametes that ultimately reaches female gamete inside the ovary through the stem. Male gamete fuses with the female gamete to form zygote. This process is known as fertilization. So, fertilization is the process of combining male gamete with female gamete. The product is the formation of zygote. Now, we are going to study about cell biology. Children, our earth is a beautiful place wherein different types of organisms happily coexist. Do you know microorganisms cause diseases? Microorganisms cause diseases. Microbes can be observed only through the microscope. Microbes can be observed only through the microscope. For example, Salmonella species is a bacteria that can cause foodborne infection. Once again I repeat, Salmonella species is a bacteria that can cause foodborne infection. Children, as we all know, all living things are made of one or more cells. All living things are made of one or more cells. Cell as a fundamental unit of life. Cell as a fundamental unit of life. The building wall is made up of numerous bricks. The building wall is made up of numerous bricks. Like that, your body is composed of basic building blocks and are named as cells. Our body is composed of basic building blocks and are named as cells. What is organelle? Let's see. Structure of a cell represents the arrangement of parts or organelles in a cell. Function is the activity of each part or organelle in a cell. Once again I repeat, structure of a cell represents the arrangement of parts or organelles in a cell. Function is the activity of each part or organelle in a cell. For example, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, cytoplasm are one of the organelles in a cell. Cell is classified into two types, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are otherwise called unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms are living entities that have only one cell. Once again I repeat, unicellular organisms are living entities that have only one cell. Next one, eukaryotic cell. Cells which has true nucleus is called as eukaryotic cell. It is bigger than prokaryotic cells. Example, plants, animals, most of the fungi and algae. Once again I repeat, cells which has true nucleus is called as eukaryotic cell. It is bigger than prokaryotic cells. For example, plants, animals, most of the fungi and algae. Children, human body is made up of animal cell and plant is made up of plant cell. Once again I repeat, human body is made up of animal cell and plant is made up of plant cell. Let's see cell to organism. In human body, number of cells join to form a tissue. Number of tissues join to form organ. Number of organs join to form organ system. Then it is called organism. Like that, in plant body, number of cells join to form a tissue. Number of tissue join to form an organ. Then organs join to form an organ system. Then it is called a organism. Let's see human cells related to functions, different types of cells. Our body is made up of many different kinds of cells. Our body is made up of many different kinds of cells. Depending on the function, cell has specific shape, size and may have some components which other type of cells do not have. Yes, brain have brain cells. Liver have liver cells. Muscles have muscle cells. Blood have blood cells. So these are the specific organs having specific cells. Then what is inside a cell? Inside a cell, there are many tiny structures called cell organelles. Once again I repeat, inside a cell, there are many tiny structures called cell organelles. They work to bring in food supplies, get rid of waste, protection and repair of the cell and help it to grow and reproduce. Students, now we are going to learn about the structural organization of the cell. A typical cell consists of three major parts. What are they? They are outer cell membrane, a liquid cytoplasm and a nucleus. Once again I repeat, a typical cell consists of three major parts. First one cell membrane, second one liquid cytoplasm, third one nucleus. Then first we will see cell membrane. Cell membrane is otherwise called gate of the cell. Yes, it holds and protects the cell. It controls the movement of materials in and out of the cell. It controls the movement of materials in and out of the cell. Second one, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is otherwise called area of movement. The cytoplasm includes all living parts of the cell within the cell membrane excluding the nucleus. The cytoplasm is made up of the cytosol and cell organelles. The cytosol is a watery, jelly-like medium made up of 70% to 90% water and usually colorless. Next one, nucleus. Nucleus otherwise called brain of the cell. Plant and animal cells have a nucleus inside the cytoplasm. It is surrounded by a nuclear envelope. Once again I repeat, plant and animal cells have a nucleus inside the cytoplasm. It is surrounded by a nuclear envelope. One or two nucleolus and the chromatin body are present inside the nucleus. One or two nucleolus and the chromatin body are present inside the nucleus. Here chromatin body has DNA and protein. Chromatin body helps to bind the DNA in the nucleus. Let's compare the plant cell and animal cell. Plant cell have cell wall, chloroplast and large vacuole. Animal cell have centriole and small vacuole. First we will see plant cell. Cell wall is the outermost covering of the plant cell. It maintains the shape and protect the cell. Chloroplast is an organelle characterized by its two membranes and a high concentration of chlorophyll and carry out the photosynthesis. Large vacuoles filled with both inorganic and organic molecules along with water to support the organelle. Next we will see animal cell. First one, centriole. Centriole is a pair of minute cylindrical involved in the development of spindle fibers in cell division. Second one, small vacuole. It is filled with both inorganic and organic molecules along with water to support the organelle. Next, plant cell and animal cell having some common organelles. They are nucleus, ribosome, cytoplasm, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body and mitochondria. We will see one by one. First one, nucleus. The nucleus is the control center of the cell. It is the largest organelle. Next one, ribosome. Ribosome is a minute particle consisting of RNA. They synthesize polypeptides and proteins. Third one, cytoplasm. The cytoplasm includes all living parts of cell within the cell membrane but excluding the nucleus. Next one, endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum, a network of membranous tubules and is involved in protein and lipid synthesis. Next one, Golgi body. Golgi body is a complex of vessels and folded membranes involved in secretion and intracellular transport. Last one, mitochondria. Mitochondria are organelles. They make most of the cell's supply of adenosine triphosphate, a molecule that cells use as a source of energy. Their main job is to convert energy. So what is the comparison of plant cell and animal cell? Let's see. Plant cell have cell wall, large vacuole, chloroplast, flagella only in gametes. In animal cell, there is no cell wall, small vacuole or no vacuole. In animal cell, there is no chloroplast. They have flagella. Both cells having mitochondrion, Golgi apparatus, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, cytoplasm and ribosomes. Okay students, I hope you are all clear with today's session. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Study well. Thank you.